Hey folks, Sarah here, and I have a big update for a very small channel. Is it a big update? I'm not sure if it actually qualifies as a big update. For those of you who have been watching my videos for this little while that I've been here on YouTube, you have probably noticed that I named my channel after my own name, and that was because about a year ago when I started this, I kind of thought through a couple names, but really couldn't settle on anything. And didn't want that to hold me back while I kind of just jump in and give this whole thing a try. And I really wanted to test myself and see if what I wanted to come and talk about on YouTube was in fact sustainable in terms of my interests, in terms of content, ideas out there. And that, of course, is independent publishers and small presses and university presses. So I wanted to prove to myself that I wouldn't lose interest and that, in fact, there would be enough for me to sustain long-term coming here and talking about all of these amazing smaller publishers. And I have decided over the past year that my excitement has only grown for these amazing, amazing books, authors, and publishers that are out there that I personally don't believe are getting enough publicity. So I have decided to officially change the name of my channel. And going forward, after maybe a few days after I post this video, I'm going to be calling my channel Eyes on Indie. And the focus is really going to be on independent publishers and some university presses also, as I explore that world a little bit. And I'm so excited this is something I've been interested in for the past couple of years, like intensely interested in the past couple of years. But it's always been intriguing to me, probably since my early 20s. My first introduction to independent publishers was through Grey Wolf. Somehow when I was, I think I was like around 22, because I remember very specifically I was like in my first real out of college job and somehow stumbled upon Grey Wolf's catalog, like specifically their spring catalog. And I just remember, I don't actually remember if it was an online catalog or if I actually had a physical catalog, but I remember flipping through it and just blowing my mind at the amazing sounding books and just the concept of, as a fresh out of school 22-year-old who didn't really know what the difference was between a huge publisher and a smaller independent publisher. Of course, Grey Wolf is one of our bigger independent publishers that a lot of people know about. But Grey Wolf was my introduction as a younger person into this whole world and idea of independent publishers. And my interest has grown over time to where we are now, which is, I would call it perhaps an obsession. I have a massive ongoing list of well over 200 publishers that I have been checking out and looking at online and seeing what they're all about. This huge list. There's endless opportunities for content, endless opportunities to share with you all kind of what I'm learning. And hopefully, I do think there are some folks out there, just based on some of the feedback I've gotten over this past year, who are also interested in these beautiful, beautiful publishers and amazing books. So I hope you'll join me. What you can expect going forward, I really hope, at least for the foreseeable future, to continue doing these indie arrival videos, which are probably either once a week or every 2 weeks, talking about books that I've seen that are being published within that 2-week period from independent publishers. It's a bit of a process because they don't always pop up in all of the other places we see books being advertised from the bigger publishers. So I kind of have to dig to find some of these books, but that's the whole point. That's why I'm even doing this, is to put these books out there so they can maybe find their ideal readers out there in the world. Anyway, where was I? Indie arrivals. I'm really excited. I haven't really thought this through. Indie arrivals. So yeah, I want to talk about books that are being published. And I know a lot of people are really hesitant these days about buying too much, about accumulating a lot of books. And we have we're constantly receiving messages about things, new things to buy. So while I don't want to have to add to that for anybody through these indie arrivals videos, I feel like for me, if I am going to have a budget, a small budget to spend on any books, the books I want to buy are from the independent publishers where it's in small presses, where my dollars are going to go the farthest for them, right? So that's kind of my thinking behind this, and just to get the word out. And you can contact your library, make sure that they're purchasing copies of these amazing books as well, so you can pick them up there. All these great things that we all know. And then also, I want to keep doing these deep dives into a single publisher and really explore. I've kind of been focusing on some of our bigger independent publishers here at the get-go, but I want to continue to be a resource for people who want to find their perfect publisher. There was actually so there's this prize I've been talking about in other videos called the Republic of Consciousness Prize. And so this prize focuses on independent small presses. So one of the prize judges was quoted somewhere, I think maybe on LitHub, saying something like she wants to inspire people to follow their favorite publishers like they follow their favorite authors. So like you see those videos out there about my auto buy authors. Like anytime this author publishes something, I automatically buy their books. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to help people find and match people up with their perfect publisher, because that's what's so great about so many of these small presses. They have such a strong vision and mission that it comes through in the books that they're publishing. And so all of the books for a lot of these publishers, probably will appeal to certain kinds of readers. And so once you find that publisher you love, you're probably going to love a lot of what they're publishing. So I hope to, through some of these deep dives, to match people with a new favorite publisher. You may be wondering why this obsession with independent publishers, and that's a great question with a lot of answers. But I want to quote one publisher that I've discovered through this process called Homebound Publications. And one of their taglines is, it goes something like, making sure that the mainstream isn't the only stream, which makes total sense for their press, because they focus a lot on nature writing and the natural world, and so evoking this idea of the stream is really cool. But yeah, like making sure that the mainstream isn't the only stream. I think that just so beautifully describes what I feel when I am exploring a lot of these small presses. A lot of them are publishing voices that are being ignored by large corporate publishers. A lot of them are publishing really funky, cool stuff that you just don't see, like risky writing that you don't see being published by these highly polished books that we see coming out of larger publishers. And I just think it's important to have these venues and outlets that aren't, a lot of them are nonprofit. So a lot of them are not being driven by the bottom line. They are being driven to find work of artistic merit. They're being driven to fulfill their mission, whatever their particular mission is. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and is really, really, really important for our society to make sure that these voices can be published and put out into the world in a way that is not as much associated with profit and the bottom line. And none of this is to say that I don't read books from being published by larger publishers. I absolutely do, and most of my very, very, very favorite authors and books are in fact published by large publishers, and that's a great thing. I just felt like it was time for something new. I also have a ton of other, what I think is really fun stuff planned, and basically I'm just here to say, if you are at all interested in exploring the world of independent publishers and small presses and university presses, if you are itching to read some books that are maybe a little bit more under the radar, I hope you will join me in this journey, because I think you will find some really great books to read. And I know that I will be finding some really great books to read, which is what I mostly care about, if we're being honest. So next time you see me, I'll be coming at you from Eyes on Indie, a channel focused on small press love. Thanks so much for watching. If you've been with me for a little bit here, thank you for your support and your comments, and just, you know, for your eyeballs and your ears. I really appreciate everyone who has joined me on this journey so far, and I cannot wait to keep reading with you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.